Well, hello and welcome. I'm Sue Britz,
And I'm Tina Lokkbakk. Welcome to Retired.
the podcast where we talk about what life is like when we put on new tread, new wheels that move us to our next adventure. And what's your adventure today, Tina?
The adventures of insomnia, the adventures of re-evacuating, and the adventures of allergy attack due to the pollen that comes from the wind, which is now exacerbating the fire.
Oh gosh, I am so sorry.
Me too. Okay, so go ahead and ask me how I am.
So, do you just have a cold or what's going on?
So at 12:30, this has been my I don't know how many nights of extreme insomnia, but this time I woke up to extreme allergies, like slammed out of the blue. So I can't drink enough water to stay hydrated. I am dripping like a faucet, sneezing like crazy. That's calmed down. So I took a loratadine, and you're only allowed to take one every 24 hours. So this is as good as it's going to get. And I'm getting a headache, and I almost canceled, and I panicked. And I'm talking about insomnia. I am talking about when it goes on and on and on. And I think since before the evacuation, I have maybe had 2 solid nights of sleep.
Oh God.
So we're talking, I'm on week 3 or 4, and it builds. And this allergy like threw me over the edge so bad. And then we're starting evacuations again. So the community behind my mountain has now been evacuated. The fire took up 4,000 acres again. They dropped the activity status, like the containment status, down. Helicopters are zooming. The planes are going. And so I'm just kind of shot today. And I just wanted to share that with you. And I don't even know what to say except, we started to get into a rhythm again with our work and picking up if it all gets canceled again. Like, it's hard. And I don't know where to go, Sue. Like, I don't know where to go if we have to evacuate. I cannot do what we did last time. But I don't want to spend thousands of dollars, or hundreds. It'll at least be a thousand if we're lucky, to stay somewhere that's remotely decent, and I don't want to drive that far away. It's like really this thing. And I thought we were behind this, and it just goes to show you, and this is what I thought all along. Why is it not being contained? Why is it not over?
Yeah.
And it's amazing because temperature and wind changes everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like we're moving back to where I was just a few weeks ago. Between that, my allergies and my insomnia. So do you have insomnia? Do you get insomnia?
Yeah, yes. Here, the thing is, though, you're in a place where you're not sure if you're safe. Even with you think you are maybe in the background, and your subconscious, it's saying you need to stay alert. So it's insane when you got a lack of sleep. It does everything to you. I mean, did you have that when you were pregnant with a kid with and a new baby and all that stuff? Where you
That's when it started.
when you went for weeks at a time, or
Weeks,
months at a
months,
time, and
years.
yes, and you
Yeah.
didn't sleep. Yeah, sleep deprivation does horrible things. So, this is eh, as much as you can be gentle on yourself. You've got to find some time to just even cat nap and God, take turns so
Right?
that you don't feel afraid to go to sleep too.
I want to
God.
say thank you. What you did for me was valid. First, I don't wish it on anyone, so I'm sorry that you ever had it or have it. And two, and thank you. That's when it all began. I used to sleep anywhere for hours in any position, any environment, any noise level. And I think by having a child, when they make that funniest noise, you become hypersensitive.
Yeah.
So it hasn't changed. Like my body, all my neurons have ignited to the slightest change of sound or smell or light will send it off. And I think you're right. I am on hyper alert. I think that's exactly right.
even in your subconscious, if you didn't know it, because we even heard anything about the fire here on news. I mean, because everything's about the hurricanes, which is another horrible stuff that the whole nation, so much of our nation's going through. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then you got menopause. Excuse me. That's another one that it's
that's a
classic.
joy.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't sleep. I haven't slept for days, through a night. Last night I actually got, I think, 5 hours, which was amazing. That's a lot of time. It wasn't all at once, and it wasn't all,
Oh my
deep
God.
sleep, but it's something. I'll take it. I was looking at my bags under my eyes this
So,
morning and going, "Oh my God, this is going on too long." But you
how
know,
long is your stretch gone this time?
since menopause, yeah, all these women are up all night. God.
You really get it. I really get you right now. And you're right, to a normal person, yeah, that sleeps through the night, they can't conceive that when you get excited over 5 solid hours. And you're right, now you're even grateful for 5 broken hours.
Well, and I'm calling it solid. To me, I'm trying to take it in its best light and be grateful for it because,
Yeah.
you did that. But the fact that you hear, yeah, everything, yeah, no, it's you take what you can get.
And I think last night it was so extreme between the fire and the allergies. That
Mm,
just sent me over the
mm.
edge, like this nonstop dripping mess that I really thought I was going to lose it, and I thought, my God, I haven't felt this crazed out over being sleep deprived. And it does become a torture. I mean, they prisoners of war, that's how they torture them oftentimes, is to keep making them stay awake. And
Yeah.
I felt like I was hitting that tipping point last night, like the allergy, the evacuation, the airline going, yeah, and the helicopters swirling. How do you relax in that? And
How can you not be consciously or unconsciously all at the same time worried about your safety and everything else that entails? So sleep deprivation, it's horrible.
yeah. And obviously you haven't figured out the cure all, and I haven't. And I've listened to so many things don't have caffeine. Alcohol interrupts it. Uh turn off the lights, at least a half an hour before you go, not just lights, but all computer and technology. I feel like I've done a combination of all these things. I don't know, maybe I should just take Dramamine.
Dramamine's for motion sickness, and
Correct, but
I
it
know it
puts
makes you
me out.
tight.
I could sleep for 12 hours,
No, you could
right?
try that, and at the same time, be careful to not to be mixing too many things or whatever. It's like,
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
With my allergy
The
pill.
other thing is to go talk to a doctor about, long ongoing situation and how and when to use different medications. Let them know all the things you're doing, and part of it is menopause too. I mean, behind everything, there's everything. All the worry about worry and stress, all that impacts everything. And yeah, I don't. Yeah,
I think I feel like I read so much from all kinds of sources. There isn't anything a doctor's going to tell me, and I
that's
don't have
true.
faith in them. It's all about prescription.
Uh
And
huh.
I remember when I was going through the throes of my divorce, they gave me something and I needed it for teaching. And I think I lasted 2 nights. And I thought, I don't like waking up feeling like I'm having an out of body experience. I didn't feel like myself. I didn't feel any more rested. I felt like I was in a different universe looking down at myself. I did not like that feeling.
Yeah.
And if that's in it, and I'm getting desperate where I've heard a lot of people do gummies, but it's like I don't want to have this addiction and dependency on something, to put me to sleep. I fought it now for years, but last night I'm like, I think I would take anything if it were right here, right now. Like I think I'm getting to the desperation point.
Yeah. Well, see, and that's
Anyway,
the thing is you gotta not hit that desperation point, but how do you know when
but
it's going to happen and all that?
what you said And I came to this conclusion myself. In fact, my tea bag said something: be kind to others and have compassion on yourself. And today I thought, you know what? I'm just going to haul it in. All these outdoor chore things I was going to do, like rake up the pine needles. And I think I'm just going to stay in and I'm just going to read. I'm going to read. I'm going to blog. I'm going to write to our podcast. And I'm just going to relax.
And when you, I don't know about you, but when you read, you start like falling asleep. Just just surrender to it, and take that 15 minutes or the half hour that it gives you, and then you're back again, and those power naps can make all the difference.
Okay. I laugh at what you say too. Yesterday, I think I gave in. Oh, because I was up since 3 the night before and I had like done my hike. I did so much yesterday that by 4 o'clock I looked over at Maria, who's still working, and I said, I can't do one more thing. I'm taking a shower. I'm going to bed. I think I got a 20-minute nap for as exhausted as I felt. And I did
Wow.
not even get a power nap out of it. It was like 20 minutes were lost, but I didn't feel any better. Not maybe by a percentile.
Well, that's because your brain is valid, putting a value on it. So let your body know that at least 20 minutes is good for your body, and trust that, and you know i- it's hard to be disciplined about accepting what you can when you're feeling on the edge of desperation with regard to this. And so if you can or even put a little sign up and remember, at least it was good for your body. Things like, because then all that
You're
placebo
so
effect
right.
so helps us. I don't know about you, but placebo effect helps me. And
Me
when you
too.
got
You're
nothing
right.
else, yeah, I don't know. God, it mm. And all the platitudes. God never gives you more than you can handle. you know.
I hate to go dark there, but I've thought about this a lot. Our former colleague, um,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I think, well, clearly he gave her too much, you know? So
Well,
I'm not sure I like that. I don't
that's a
agree
whole
with that
nother
platitude
topic,
at all.
but it's all part of life too. All this stuff is part of life. Oh, jeez. There's nothing much I can say except, yeah, I'm sorry.
Well,
We should
it
do it like a
always,
network of women. At night, you can tune into a certain channel or whatever, and all these women who can't go to sleep because it's all postmenopausal, or even the working people. But okay, just go for people our age in postmenopausal. We're up. Let's chat. And if one person zonks out, you're like, shh, okay, okay, let's all go to the other channel. Shh. One of the things that
so
I
yeah.
do to help me with trying to fall asleep or not do the spiraling in my head of thought of things, because I can sustain some meditation or some reflection, and you can only do that so many hours of so many days and so many weeks and so many months and so many years. So what I started doing was, and this is how I got into the listening to my first podcast, and then afterwards saying, "Oh, I could use this." So I I listen when, like reading, I can read and then go to sleep, and it might last a while or not, but it distracts your brain and puts it on something else. But it's so active too, and the light is on when you're doing it. So with a podcast, you could just pop your earbud in. I can only do one because I'm a side sleeper, and so I can't do two because I would be hurting my ear. It would be weird, and it'd make all that noise. So just one, and then when you turn over, you just switch, buds. But you put on a podcast that is that there's something that you like about it. There's some value to it, um, but so it doesn't annoy you, but that is not that interesting that if you miss it, then you're like pissed off because you missed the episode, because you can always go back too. So you turn it on. I listen to history um, podcasts, and I love them. And I don't want them to be too exciting. They've got to be more just a recounting of history so that you're not, wanting to stay up.
Engaged
Yes.
fully.
So, and then the voice matters too. So the voice will go to, and then it's interesting. You're listening to it just at some level, but you're disengaging from the other stuff that you can ruminate on and then fall asleep. And then before you know it, like 3 or 4 podcasts have gone through. You're like, wow. So 4 of a half hour, that means 2 hours sleep. That was pretty damn good. And yeah, that's what I do. I do podcasts.
I do too. And again, it depends on who it is, what the topic is. And sometimes, like, I get so engaged, it's now worse,
Well,
because
that's why you have to
it
carefully curate.
ignited the neurons, not even meaning to.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, have you noticed, like, YouTube is horrific now because I don't pay to get rid of the ads. And, the tone, the music, everything changes. So that like jolts me
Yeah.
into alertness. So that's not very calm. So I found the best is the Apple podcast. But again, they go into commercials, but at least the tone
Uh,
in the commercial is consistent with the podcast. So that's very helpful. Um, and then I've heard, like you said, like I cannot do We Can Do Hard Things with Glennon Doyle because they're laughing, they're having too much fun. So then it wakes me up. So I think I said once before, Eckhart Tolle he's good because he's so calm in his
mm,
mannerism and voice that it kind of does lull me. And the topic, is about spirituality, connecting to your inner peace. It's very meditative. So that often helps. But the other one though, and I thought maybe I should just go with this. I lasted one day. This was 2 nights ago. And it's how to utilize your time between 3 to 5 a.m. in the morning. Isn't that funny? That's the feed I got. And it was talking about you should visualize like what your goals are. Take the time to visualize, meditate, which is part of that. Do your stretching with your body so you can become in tune with it. And 3, do your learning. And I'm like, well, I'm up anyway. I should probably just start doing this. And then I got renewed as of yesterday. And I thought, well, if I got up at 3, which seems to be my cycle, then if I went to bed at 8, and sure enough, by 4 o'clock in the afternoon, that's when I looked at Marie and said, I'm done. I'm going to take a shower and I'm going to bed. So I was in bed by 5. And then I took a nap. Then I ate dinner. And then I think I was wired awake till 9:30, watched some TV. I was asleep by 10, awake at 12:15.
that sounds like normal. Except I don't get that nap in. Yeah, you get to sleep and you're like, oh, just so grateful. And then you wake
So
up and you
grateful.
turn over and it's 12:15 or 1. And then you like, okay, do I get up to go to the bathroom now or not? Because then
And
I
then
know
it's
it's,
over. By the time you've made the decision, then you're wide awake.
well, or you're
Either
not.
way.
So then you walk over there with your eyes semi-closed and you trip, you stub your toe. And then you flush the toilet to make noise or do you leave it? And then you think, oh, that's disgusting. Why would I leave it? That's wrong. And so I'm flushing it.
Right.
And then I need to close the door quietly so I don't make noise. And all these things. And then, or more often than not, I just say, I won't go to the bathroom. And then all night long you need to go to the bathroom. So then,
Yeah.
can't win for losing.
You so get it. Thank you. You've
Can't
just
win for
spoke my
losing.
reality as well. And I'm sure multitudes of other women,
Yep.
for sure. So here we are with tears streaming down my face, snot coming out of my nose. How are you otherwise today?
I'm okay. Do you test for COVID?
I did the last time, and it was positive. I know for sure this is allergies
Mm-hmm.
because this is exactly what I do.
Yep. Well, here's just, the thing. I don't know about you, but I got my stash of tests and they're all old now, and for a while they were saying, "Oh, don't worry, just use it. It'll be fine. It's good for another." Even when the government sent out new ones, they would send out quote expired ones and they said it was still good. So, a new round of free tests have come out again,
Oh,
and all you got to do is go on. I'll find the link and put it in our notes, but you can get the free tests, which is really important to do. So I encourage it. So tell me about your what are they saying about evacuation?
So starting yesterday, it was interesting because I was driving back down from the desert. Marie and I had to go buy groceries down at this great store, and we see the plume of smoke like really like you can see it just building, crescendoing really. And then I got onto the fire watch, and by the time I got home, the smoke started getting bad again. So I looked it up, and as I'm looking it up, one of the places that had been evacuated last time popped up as not even a warning. It's like go, and that was the command.
Oh,
It was
gee.
red. It said go, and it made sense because I could see it. It was so visual, and then the orange red light in the afternoon. It is the oddest thing when it's filtered through smoke
Yeah.
clouds. The
Yeah.
color, it's gorgeous,
Mhm.
but it's also this eerie feeling because
Mhm.
it's so not natural.
Mhm.
And that was happening again too. So I knew things, the intensity of the smoke and the color of the smoke. I knew things were not right. And then this morning, no, shortly thereafter, at the far end of the town, got the first grid. So the grids are back on for all the communities again, where the black outlines are there, and only one of the grids has the warning, which is again at the far end of town. And last time we left, when it became a they must go. So, now I sit after I have comfortably unpacked everything, but I did keep the suitcase with my one photo album I want to hold on to and all the important documents. I just kept it packed this time.
Well, you should. I mean, maybe like forever, because I mean that's kind of how it goes.
I thought about dedicating a suitcase for that. Like,
Yeah.
why keep putting it back? But,
Right.
some of these things should be in a fireproof safe,
Right.
ironically. But
Right.
I don't know.
Ah, geez. So
I
this
don't know.
grid system is when they put the grid up when they're going to start evacuating you in turn. So you're like on pre-warning, basically.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Right. That's a
Well,
good way of putting it.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, and then again, I think the biggest struggle I have, like this time, Maria's like, I'm not leaving early this time. I refuse because we had to come back anyway. And I still keep going back to this place where I do not want to be among the crowd pushing their way down a 2-lane highway as our only exit. That does not seem safe nor rational. But at the same time, do I want to shell out $1,000 in lodging when it's not necessary? But it's like gambling, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like gambling, but this time I think the stakes are too big. So for me, I think I can see conflict right now where I'm going to be upset if Maria refuses to go because I don't want to leave her and have her perish along with my home. But at the same time, I can't make her. And I refuse to burn up and I refuse to gamble that. So I think it's going to create some interesting conversations, dynamics, situations. I don't know. And then, this last time when we stayed at someone's house, it was very generous of them. But I don't want to go into the thick of Los Angeles. It's like as we get older, I need my personal space. I just do. And I
Yeah.
don't want to just share it with anybody, even under evacuation situations. I don't want to be following another's pattern and rule, and I need my space. So I'm really conflicted, like where to go. And I've had this time to think about it, but it's hard. So when you think like, where do I want to spend time? Where am I going to be able to take care of my spiritual side, my emotional well-being? Where am I going to be the most able to stay grounded? And I learned it's not with a family and small kids in the heart of LA and concrete. So I need to be remote. And so this morning I was actually thinking somewhere out in the desert, nothing's going to burn around there. It's dirt, dirt, or dirt. And then the dog would have free space to run because there will probably be more properties with big open spaces. So, because I have to think about a Great Dane, she's not, she was going crazy inside of a house with no yard virtually. So I have to think of her and who will take her. There's a lot of considerations, you know. Where's my packed car full of everything I own and love going to be safe? You know, I felt very nervous about Los Angeles
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Well, and rightfully, I mean, it can happen anywhere. Yeah, those are the logistics of it that people don't think about. And this is kind of goes back to our last conversation about evacuation is how much of a violation this is because this is not a natural occurrence. This was done by arson. And to come back to that, to I mean, that's your experience, and it's it's the same for each of the people, each of your neighbors are having to go through this, everyone going through the same thing, and it's the lack of sleep and all of that that's causing. It's ah
And the business, like that's
yeah.
the most frustrating part. This last time, we almost, I told you, had a catering job for 3 days with a camera crew because they were going to shoot commercials. And that got canceled. And that was like going to be a great source of income.
Oh,
All the farmers markets canceled. So I'm seeing this again this coming weekend. We've been so excited. They're having a yoga festival up here. And we are going to serve like all the food and do the after hours party, and it's all set and ready to go. But again, if this keeps going with the smoke, no one's going to be doing and getting out of the house,
yeah.
you know, for the and there goes the income again. So it's like this so many layers and levels
Yeah.
of how to adapt, how to not let it eat you alive, how to not, you know, break you. It's staying calm in the middle of this. But I think, is what you were saying, this is the part that I have the hardest time with, Sue. All the neighbors are fine. They look at me like the hyper paranoid, fearful person. And again, it's like an out of body experience because I don't see how they can't think further and how they're so sure it's going to be kicked. And the one thing, and I think you would agree with me, is there's no sureness.
No.
Everybody says it's going to be fine. Well, you're not God. No, you don't know. I don't believe in your human assessment of a fire that takes things out. Like, I
Yeah.
don't get how people, it's denial.
Yeah.
It's denial. And I'm not willing to live in denial. And so I feel like I'm very alone in my response to it. I feel very alone. I think that's another level.
That's it. Yeah, it's odd because I guess maybe they're adapted to it and they don't, we've been through it before. It's, same people with the hurricanes and the tornadoes and everything else. When you live around it, it didn't happen before. And then when it happens, they're like, "Oh my gosh," or they're dead and they can't do that. Yeah. Um,
And that's what Maria was saying. She's like, Tina, you should just be more like the Cubans. We just end up going out and getting a whole bunch of beer and we throw parties and have people over. And I'm looking at her and it's true. That's how many of them handle it. But again, like you said, and what I'm saying, it is a expectation it'll be fine because it has so many times, but there is the time and the people that it wasn't safe. They did pay the price and with their lives, some of them. So you're right. And I'm not willing.
that's realistic. It's it's not like it's out of the realm of possibility. It's very realistic, very probable part of the possibility. So,
And I also thank the firemen, the system. This is where I am proud of government and government response in that they have calculated how much time you would need. They have calculated. This is like so scientifically set up to be sure that no one dies. And like the last big fire where structures were burned, guess what? No one died. To me, that's miraculous.
it's
And
amazing.
it's because they keep getting better and better at figuring it out. So I just feel like when the code gets read, you know, and it's only 4 miles from your home,
Yeah.
leave.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry. 4 miles. My God.
And but up here they're like, oh, it's 4 miles. And I'm looking at them like, runners run further than 4 miles. Like, I don't understand how you don't see that that is the smallest distance imaginable. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I remember you were describing the sky with that orange, orange, pink, red sky, and the sun is all it's shining bright, but it's like got a iris around it of red, and that is
Like your picture
yeah,
on the
and
Facebook.
yeah, and those
Yeah.
those uh were like every day for, weeks at a time. That's what the sky, you come out at night and you see the sky, and it's gorgeous and horrible, and along with it, of course, you smell the fires and you see the ashes, and you're thinking, okay, hold it. If it looks like that and I can smell it and I can see the ash, why are we not leaving? Well, there weren't any fires. The winds were carrying it. And so, okay, that is rational. And at the same time, did we have our go box? You bet we did. And there was a time when it came close to the town next to us. And it's like, okay, this is getting too close. I'm getting very ready. And, I think that's reasonable. I think we got to be reasonable. So you got to stay safe and make your best choices, and know if you want to make the trek up here, you're very welcome. So
Thank you.
we don't have small children, but we, have a small yard. And that wraps up this episode of Retired. Thanks for listening.
Until next week, please feel free to lend your feedback or ask questions by emailing us at retiredpodcastnewtread@gmail.com. You're invited to follow us on Facebook at Retired Podcast New Tread. Check the show notes for links and contact information.
Retired is co-hosted by Sue Britz and Tina Lokkbakk. It is produced, directed, and edited by me, Sue Britz. Music and graphics are by me too. Please click to subscribe so that you won't miss your chance to join
our retired road trip.